In your financial bucket, right? You're closing up the holes, and now you're saving the opportunity cost. You are not just letting it waste away. You are putting things into an asset that is tax advantage, and these you're just reversing all of that stuff. You're reversing the flow of money going out to money coming in, right? So how do we recapture opportunity costs? Like, what do we do to be able to make that happen? So Jed, can you come in and help us with that? Help us to understand better how we can recapture opportunity cost.
For example, we saved, say we accumulated 30 grand, whether we're gonna use it for a down payment for a house or maybe a car, right? But what if we just leave it there in a place that can give us 5%? Well, in 5 years, it's gonna earn us about 8,501, right? That's the interest it's gonna give us. Well, we still need to buy the thing we saved up for or still buy that house. So instead of using our own money, what if we took out a loan? And this loan is charging us 5%, right? So our money is making 5%, we're being charged 5%, and we're paying $566 a month. And in 5 years, we have paid about $39.68 in interest. Well, our money made 8,500 and we paid $39.68. At the end of the day, we have a positive spread in our favor. What if we're being charged more? What if the interest we're being charged is 7% and $594 of payments? Well, we're still getting spread in our favor. So this is kind of like what the banks are doing, right? You deposit money into the bank, and what do you get? You get basically zero. And then they go out and lend you money at 5, 6, 7, or even higher, right? At credit cards, like 20%. Well, how would you like to have that on your own money? And this is a process we own and control. What if we extrapolate that, or what if we've been doing it for, say, 45 years? Say you're just starting out, you have another 45 years of working. If you extrapolate 30 grand at 5% in 45 years, total interest earned would be $253 and $305. Whereas at 7%, we're being charged more. We will still only pay $68,771. So the moral of here is we got uninterrupted compounding working for us, not against us, working for us. And even though the loan is higher, but because we're chipping away the principal, sooner or later it's going to go down, and you see that big spread.
Nice. Very nice. The question is there an asset that can give us this? What is it that we can use so that we can take advantage of uninterrupted compounding growth, but also a growth that is tax advantage, right? So we don't want to earn money over time and then have to give half of it away to the government. Is there an asset that can give us that? Can give us control? We just said is liquid, so that we can access it, right? Is again uninterrupted compounding growth. We want to be able to leverage that. We need an asset that does that. We also want an asset that doesn't have any risk, has either low or zero risk to it, because we work too hard for our money to risk it. I was at the gym today, and these two guys, every week I hear these two guys talking about the stock market all the time, because there's another guy who actually plays the stock market, and they're talking about it's so stressful. It's so stressful to be in the market, blah blah blah, because you never know what's going to happen with that. So it's too vulnerable. It's too risky to do that in the market. There's got to be a better way. At the same time, even if you do have, let's say, a great return in the stock market, you end up paying a lot of that in taxes. Once you liquidate that stuff, you're going to have to you're going to have to pay taxes to the government on the growth that you got, right? On that. Now, that's called capital gains tax, right? So the growth, if you made, for example, if you put in $50,000 and you made 100, your balance from 50,000 became 100,000, so you made another 50,000. Half of that, 25,000, going to be taxed, right? That's called capital gains. You want a better tax advantage than just capital gains, right? But you want, and especially in this day and age where inflation, has been, out of control. Sometimes it's in, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. Oh my gosh, it's really a really difficult time these days, right? We need an asset that can be there for us, that can be steady and consistent and doesn't give us stress. Is there such a thing? Well, we believe it can. We're glad to have you here on the webinar so that we can tell you about it, because not a lot of people know about this. A specially designed and engineered participating whole life policy. Now, before you leave the meeting, leave the webinar, and say, "Oh no, it's another insurance thing," you got to understand that. Don't tell yourself what it is. Oh, it's insurance. Ask, what does it do? That's what you need to see. And any financial vehicle, you have to ask, okay, what is it for? But what does it actually do? Like, what does an RSP really do? What does a TFSA really do? And what does a participating whole life policy really do? And that's what we want to share with you tonight, right? Is really, you can take, this is the easiest asset, the safest asset that you can get, without risking your money, right? It actually acts like a supercharged savings account is what ends up happening with this. And that's this is exactly what we want to see happen. We supercharge a savings account that is getting more than what your bank would get, right? And this is what it looks like. So this is an illustration, partial illustration of how the money would work, the dynamics inside a participating whole life policy. If the base of the policy is $4,000, and the EDO, or the extra money that the room that you could give is an extra $6,000 in the first 7 years, right? And then the cash values, are from a policy illustration. So what you're looking at here is, you're looking at about $10,000 a year, right? That's not a month, that's a year. And so we're looking at anywhere between $333 to $833 a month. If you put $833 a month, then that is $10,000 in a year. And we should be in the habit of setting aside a portion of our salary for savings like this. So if you are, let's say you're making $80,000 a year, then you should be able to put aside about $8,000 a year for savings, for money that can actually flow money back into you, right? So in this case here, we're looking at $10,000 for the whole year, all right? And so what we have here, and Ro, actually, you go ahead and highlight this and tell us about this, and I'll kind of point out some things along the way. Right.
Oh, sure. So basically, we have a person here who's 30 years old, putting in 10 grand a year for 7 years. Now, you can see the growth on the green highlighted here, right? On the 4th year, he has about 39 there, and he loans about 25. He needs a car, he loans 25 grand. Well, this 25 comes from the insurance company. The 39,000 inside the plan still keeps growing, uninterrupted compounding. Now the 25 he needs to pay back, so he sets up a payment plan. Again, this is in your control. You can choose not to pay it back right away, but for this example, this person does it at 6,000 a year, and in 5 years it's paid back. So 10 times 7 is 70, and then 6 times 5 is 30. Total loan and repaid is about 100. But he took out 25, so he benefited 25 right away. So in reality, the total money into this system he put in is about 75,000. But the cash value grew to 77,181. If you divide that, he got about $1.03 for every dollar he put into the system. Plus, did he get the money back from the car? Yes, he did. So if you keep doing what you're doing right now when you're paying cash, you're never going to get back your money from your car. Or if you pay credit, you're never going to get money back from your car. But if you do it through this system, you're able to get money back for any purchase you want to do. Now, moving on, he does it again on year 9 because the car is old and he bought a new car. Same thing, repaid it $6,000 a year. So total loan repaid is $30,000. But since 25 was already taken out, in reality, benefited $5,000. And the cash grew from $77,000 to $96,326. Total growth is about $19,145. If you divide that by 5,000, you almost got 4, right? 3.8. So in this example, for every dollar that he put into the system, he got about almost $4. So bro, if you have a magic box or magic machine that for every dollar you put in, sooner or later you're gonna get 4, how much are you gonna put in?
Well, I would like to put as much as I can and get back as much as I can.
And will you ever stop?
Not if he keeps putting that out. Yeah, I keep going. Sure.
So that's basically what we're doing here, right?
Mm-hmm. Can you go back real quick? I just wanted to point out something.
Yeah.
So I want you guys to notice, if you look at year 6, he's putting $10,000 in every year. So he's put in 60,000. And in year 6, look at the cash value. His cash value is already $61,315. So after 6 years, he's broke even. It's like a business, right? You invest. The first few years, you're not making any money, but eventually in a certain year, you're going to break even. And in this case, in this particular case, 6 years is the break even part. After that, everything's going upwards in terms of their cash value. Just keeps going up and up and up, right? So if you look at in this year 7, the last payment he makes in that 7th year, he's put in $70,000 into this plan, and his cash value is at $73,000. So he's made money there already, right? And look at the jump. Thank you for pointing that out, bro. He went from in year 6 at 61,000, the break-even year, 61. It jumped to an extra $14,000 from $61,000 to $73,000. Wow, where do you see that happen? That's the power of uninterrupted compounding growth. And in this case, he's even using $25,000 of that in year 4, and he's still. So when you look at the cash value growth, you're looking at 77,181. You have to include that $25,000 car that he purchased, right? Yeah. So that's going to be over 100. That's almost $103,000 of value that person has by using this kind of strategy. And it just gets better and better. Again, remember the B side of compounding growth. It just gets better and better later as time goes by. Even when he stops putting any more money into it after 7 years, it just keeps growing and growing and growing because of the way this is designed. So now you can take advantage of this, and we want to show you how does it work then, because we said that what you're going to learn is how can you use this to use your debts and expenses.